Our long mystery is over. The anticipation was at a fever pitch. We finally have the new Iron Fist from Marvel Comics, debuting in Iron Fist #1 from Alyssa Wong and Michael Eag. Marvel Comics has made it a point that they needed to replace Danny Rand as the Iron Fist. They needed an Asian character because it was culturally insensitive to have a white character knowing kung fu and battling dragons and whatnot. So Danny Rand is no more. In his place is Lin Lee. I mean, I imagine most of you are asking, who the fuck is Lin Lee? That is a brilliant question. That is the question of the day. Lin Lee is the sword master who debuted in Warriors of the Three Sovereigns. He also appeared in a couple of Swordmaster miniseries, Agents of Atlas, if you read that, Atlantis Attacks, and The Death of Doctor Strange White Fox, which was also written by Alyssa Wong. Who is White Fox? That is a question for another day. Lin Lee was thought to have died in Death of Doctor Strange White Fox, and that does play into the narrative of this story here. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot known about him. His sword has been destroyed. It was destroyed, I believe, in that Death of Doctor Strange special. And he's really good at puzzles. That's one of the things you know about the character. The character is Chinese, but otherwise, really, the character is essentially an open book. Me personally, I'm not sure how Lin Lee is an improvement upon Danny Rand, other than the fact that the character is in fact Asian. The character is Chinese, so there you go. We can slurp up to the Chinese. We can replace the white savior hero, get him out of the way, and replace him with this other Asian character. I'm not really sure why or how this character is the Iron Fist. It's not really fleshed out. There's a fall, and he wakes up and he's the Iron Fist, maybe? And Alyssa Wong, the writer, also does refer to a lot of the events in Death of Doctor Strange White Fox. So if you were one of the 12 people that actually read that fucking comic book, you are going to be ahead of the game heading into this comic book. Obviously, if you read the Swordmaster miniseries, maybe if you're one of the 250 that read those, then you'll absolutely be ready for this character as well. Otherwise, there's a lot of events going on in this story that you're not completely sure about, and it's not really told in a manner where you think they're going to double back and actually explain it. I think you're just supposed to know. Unfortunately, like I said, most people haven't actually read a comic book featuring Lin Lee, and if they did, he probably didn't stand out for any good reason, because he's a nondescript character that most people don't know very well. So let's get into this debut, and it does involve Danny Rand himself, because you do have to hand the baton over from one character to the other. It's actually pretty strange. Danny Rand is talking to Luke Cage on a phone, and it looks like he's battling some demons. And all of a sudden, just another Iron Fist walks in and punches the demon through the heart, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here? I recognize that outfit. Hey, can we talk?" And you would imagine, because Danny Rand was the previous Iron Fist, he's in the magical city. You assume he has to have been there to have gotten the dragon's chi and the Iron Fist abilities, that he would know who Danny Rand is. But apparently this is just a chance encounter, and he has no idea who Danny Rand is. This keeps happening over and over. So they fight. They win, obviously. And apparently that demon was looking for the shards in Iron Fist's hands, Iron Fist being Lin Lee. But he was fighting Danny Rand to begin with. I don't know how Alyssa Wong managed that one, but that's the way the narrative goes in this. And he just runs off. Danny's like, okay. Luke, I'm going to call you back. I need to find the new Iron Fist. Apparently, I've been replaced. Now, obviously, Danny knows that he's no longer a superhero, but he is still on the streets of New York trying to save people. And he finds young Lin Lee, the new Iron Fist, on the top of a building, meditating, having a Coke and a smile. Along the way, we do get some backstory about his sword, how it got destroyed, and why it was important. Apparently, it is sealed, some type of god that wants to take over the earth. And once that sword was removed, that was a bad thing, and it was the only thing, or I guess one of three things that were standing between that god returning to Earth. And now it has been shattered, and apparently the shards of the sword have penetrated this kid's hands, and they're just there, and they won't take them out. Apparently you can't take it out. It's really messing with his chi. Apparently not very sneaky, because Danny Rand finds him essentially immediately. He's like, should have figured you'd be brooding on a rooftop. That's an Iron Fist classic. And he gives him a mean mug, and apparently they're not friends. If I'm the new Iron Fist and I got the old Iron Fist here, and I'm kind of Iron Fisted trading, I might want a new tip or two. Who the fuck are you? How did you get this power? Are you even supposed to have it? This thing, the Dragon Chi, is quite powerful, and it's meant for heroes. Why do you have it? And they have a little bit of a struggle, and Danny steals one of the shards of the sword, but Lin Lee ends up taking it back. This is a really strange introduction for this new hero. This isn't really all that exciting. It's a bit confusing. Why is Danny Rand here? I mean, I understand you might want to include him in the story. Like, he's fighting the demon that wants the shards out of this kid's hands. There's no explanation for this. Me personally, I wasn't altogether impressed with the way they did the handing off of Aquaman to Jackson Hyde yesterday in DC Comics, but that stuff looks like masterclass work. And here, the character is just Iron Fist. You don't know why. You don't really know how it happens. Apparently, there's a fall. And nobody, including the character that was Iron Fist, is asking him any questions. And he doesn't want to talk to anybody. He's just running away, but you don't know why he was over there. Was he looking for more pieces of shard glass that were supposed to be in his hand so he can put his sword together? I'm not really sure, but he went over there for some reason. They just never tell you why. As I mentioned before, this kid just continuously runs away from Danny Rand, even though he's being quite friendly with him. You know, they fought together. They defeated a demon, and he certainly, just by the way that the two are interacting, the way that Danny Rand is speaking, it's clear that Danny Rand knows a thing or two about the Iron Fist and the Dragon Chi and the powers that he has and what he's wielding. He even tells him all the techniques that he's using, yet he just continuously just keeps running away from the character. It's actually kind of funny. I don't think Alyssa Wong is a comedy writer, so I think it was quite unintentionally funny. And then there's just a portal in a subway, and the character's able to return to whence he came, and Danny Rand's kind of stuck, you know, holding his dick in his head, going, what the hell just happened? I'll be honest, a lot of times I can tell what a writer is going for, even when I don't think they really execute it well. Like, I can see what they were attempting to do with this, but I don't think it worked out the way they wanted to, or they're trying to do this, but they got in their own way doing here. I honestly don't know what Alyssa Wong is trying to do with this introduction to the new Iron Fist. It's not like, well, try to create an air of mystery. No, you explain who the character is. You explain about his sword. You explain about him kind of dying or whatever and falling. Is she trying to establish a relationship or a rivalry between the new Iron Fist and the old Iron Fist? Not really. He's asking him questions and he's just running away without providing any information. Is Alyssa Wong trying to establish a newfound respect between Danny Rand and the new Iron Fist when he sees what he's capable of? Not really. He was going to beat that demon with or without his help. He's just kind of there, and he's Iron Fist, and you and I are supposed to accept that. She's certainly trying to set up the mystery of what this god is that's been trapped in its place with the sword, which has nothing to do with Iron Fist. That's Swordmaster stuff, and that he needs to put the sword back together. Again, Swordmaster stuff. Why the fuck is he Iron Fist? What does it have to do with any of this stuff? And I think she's going to have to answer that before this can be successful. There are going to be people that are going to tell you that this is the fucking greatest thing from sliced bread. It's really not. There's a lot of shills out there, and they're going, oh, this thing is great. It's a bad comic book, and it's a really bad way to introduce a new hero. Like, even worse than the old tried and true Danny Rand giving a speech in front of people telling them that Lin Lee is a better hero than he ever was, which he actually already did in the previous story, the Iron Fist Heart of the Dragon, when he tells Okoye, like, you're a better Iron Fist than I ever was. And Okoye was an Iron Fist for like 5 minutes. He's like, you keep it. And it felt like really out of place. He doesn't even try that much here. He's just kind of like, okay, you're running away. You're continuously running away. That's about the first half. If you consider characters running away from each other and playing grab ass on a rooftop, I guess there's some action. I don't know that it's good action. Surprisingly enough, the art from Michael Eag is really good. Well, not really good, but it's pretty damn good. Like, this is pretty good art. There's nothing to complain about there. I do feel bad for him because, like, the second half of this comic is all this. It's just talking heads. It's a fucking Marvel comic with a new age Marvel comic writer. So, of course, they're going to be eating the whole fucking time. 10, 12 pages of them just talking. It's an enormous exposition dump, but it's not a lot of good exposition. They could have explained a lot of stuff, like how he became the Iron Fist. Apparently he fell, and when he woke up, he was the Iron Fist. Don't know why. That part hasn't been fleshed out, even though she literally has 12 pages where she's not doing anything other than establishing that Lin Lee is kind of an orphan. He lost his brothers in search of the sword. His father pulled the sword, and that was apparently a folly. He's trying to, like, keep his family's honor or something. But he's essentially an orphan now, and this family's kind of adopting him. And they don't want his chi to get out of balance, because if his chi gets too out of balance, he's going to get chi poisoning, which could kill it. Apparently, you can die of chi poisoning. It is just them talking and talking and talking, but never really coming out with real good answers or even developing a good mystery. Unless you think him putting the sword back together is a good mystery. I say pull the pieces out of his head, although they say it's quite impossible. They don't explain why. And it turns out he does know Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. Doctor Strange knows something about injured hands and healing them. You would have thought that Doctor Strange would have been able to help him, but apparently that was not the case. When you're a Marvel writer of Alyssa Wong's, stature, capability, you just don't think about these things, about all the plot holes that you're kind of throwing in your own story here. I don't know what to say. This isn't very good. I know a lot of people kind of speculated that it would be Lin Lee, the sword master himself. So there you go. I guess they were right on that one. But does this get people excited? They're like, oh, fuck yeah, they got rid of Danny Rand for Lin Lee. Everybody's going like, man, you better make this exciting fast, or I'm going to just have to jettison, that's just for like the 2,000 people that might actually read this comic. Well, all right. Let's be honest. There's going to be more than that because this is a number one issue, and Iron Fist has a lot of fans, and I'm sure there are people that are fans of Danny Rand Iron Fist that are going to at least check this out just to see, hey, maybe this change isn't going to be so bad. Maybe it's going to be done pretty good, and I don't want to miss out on that. And I think, after this issue, a lot of them are going to be like, man, I'm glad I didn't put it on my pull list yet because it's not pull list worthy. You know what I mean? It is offensive. It is an offensive comic book. Not because of the stereotypes or whatever. It's just offensively, the execution is bad. It makes the Aquaman the Becoming #6 look like fucking War and Peace or something. You know what I mean? It makes it look like The Watchmen. This is just cookie cutter, bland comic book writing that's plaguing Marvel and DC right now. Some people came in here looking for an exciting story and a reason to invest in this new Iron Fist. And I don't think Alyssa Wong gives us any of that. I think the artist does. Michael Eag definitely gives you a reason to come back because the art is vibrant. It's exciting when he gets to do action, but he gets to do far too much talking heads, far too many conversations around a table in soup. It apparently what appears to be, I believe the dad has been infected and he's going to be a demon. I imagine it's that god that's like trapped in there because a little piece of him got out when they pulled the sword out the first time. And the fact that it's not reconstructed. So it's an Iron Fist book about Swordmaster putting his sword back together. Did he need to be Iron Fist? I don't think so. As I mentioned earlier, Marvel wasn't the only publisher that was switching a mantle. We have a new Aquaman over at DC Comics. We knew this one was coming, but it finally kind of happened for real. In Aquaman, the Becoming #6. This really isn't the ideal way to do a successful mantle change, but it's certainly light years better than what we're getting here in Iron Fist.